Hey Pisces, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to the first weekly quick read for the year 2021. I didn't do a year ahead. I wanted to. However, I may still do that on YouTube. I've just run out of time, Pisces. But in many ways, it probably is better. And that was my initial intention with the weeklies, was to condense and break down the energies rather than sort of do collective, long stretched energies, because literally anything can happen. But it's not until we focus on the detail that we can truly understand it. But I may still do those year aheads on YouTube, and I'll certainly let you guys know here on Instagram if you don't follow me. But otherwise, definitely check out my YouTube page, and do follow, like, and share with other empaths, okay? So let us take a look now. Just touching on the energies of last week. Actually, no, what I want to do, just as a heads up, with this 2021 energy, is it going to be exactly like last year? No, last year was very much a bottleneck year, a powerful crossroads year that was deeply cathartic, opportunity to completely transform at all levels, at many levels. Did everyone do that? Perhaps not. Is there such thing as a better than or worse than? Never. Deep wisdom integration can happen over time. We have to test the theory. We have to take one step forward. We have to take those two steps back in order to make that one step forward, or whatever the case may be. So we will see, and I'm already sensing it in the collective energies when I do tune in. There is many who deeply worked with 2020, many who used it as an opportunity to really set in motion everything they've done in the years previous. They may notice 2021 energy as a leveling up, if you like, or a plateau to a whole new reality. We're going to see many in the collective who knew that last year something had to happen. And it wasn't until the end of last year that we experienced this bottleneck energy, where we know this is the year that those changes truly have to be integrated. And then further still, we will notice others that may become aware of the need for change, or how the world is rapidly evolving, and how does this make me change internally this year as well, okay? So it's the start of a new era in many ways. We've chosen to incarnate here, and that's a pretty powerful thing in of itself, yeah? But let's take a look. Last week we saw Venus move into Capricorn. We also saw a shift from Mars being in Aries and heading into Taurus. So there was a turnkey there, and there's certainly that beautiful love vibe in those old structures. But more importantly, it's about the need for love in old structures, because the old is crumbling in many ways. We're going to notice this frustration energy with the Jupiter Mars squares, okay? So there's this inner turmoil energy. And in many ways, if I look at the collective energy there's quite a lot going up in the skies. We're going to feel this inner turmoil. We know change needs to happen. We know the new is there, but we've still got that attachment to the past. We've still got that attachment to our old reaction behaviors, our old trauma responses, our old comfort blankets in which we suppress, in which we don't deal, and I'll action it next week, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I know I've got that, and I am like this, but really, what are we going to do about it? Instead of constantly experiencing this karmic re-looping. Hence, we're looking at this new moon in Capricorn this week, which is conjunct Pluto, which takes us into the energies of the shadow masculine. Male or female, okay, Capricorn or otherwise. Capricorn rules the father of the zodiac. Capricorn is the CEO of the zodiac, okay? It is embodying that Saturn energy. Saturn rules Capricorn, so Saturn's all about boundaries, rules, structures, the foundations that we just feel protected by, okay? And also with this Uranus in Taurus theme, what is unshakable? The world's changing. Yeah, we saw that. And that does stuff to people, that our worlds rapidly change as we, let go of karmic cords, as we awaken to cognitive dissonance and realize, oh my God, I've got to shift beliefs here, and watch how my reality then shifts, I can keep karmic looping happening, but then there's going to be that inner frustration where what I deeply desire is growth, but growth is going to cost me an investment. Now, by stripping all the labels aside, I can look at the future, that ideal, okay? And strip everyone else's faces away. Strip away the labels, the attachment to how that happiness equates to a career, a position in life, a person, and just connecting with the essence of myself. And the difference between her and me is my choice to meet her. And I know I've just simplified the process, but that literally is evolution. That literally is ascension and transformation and growth. We think it's attached to something outside of ourselves, and we will continue as empaths to keep ourselves in a sense of disempowerment when we actually keep perceiving that that happy version of me is linked to that career or getting that job or being in a marriage or getting that relationship back on track. Happiness is eternal. That vision of success must be redefined. Hence, we're looking at the shadow of Capricorn. Capricorn, in its highest evolvement and light, is very noble. It carries the responsibility of its family, of its people that work for him or her, of the group that it governs, okay? So it has to make those hard decisions that are not always going to suit everyone, but in its nobility, Capricorn, she'll always, it's for everyone else, and she'll communicate that clearly. You know, it's to benefit you, and this is why that decision was made. And if I carry that work thing, right, if I carry that constant weight of responsibility into a shadow aspect, that might be me working 60 hours a week, and I'll just do that for 6 months, and then, you know, because, you know, we want that house deposit, and I'm no longer spending as much time with my family, and my little ones are at that crucial development age, and I sort of missed out on a couple of things there. For 6 months, my relationship can change in little ways and in big ways with how they now turn to dad instead of mum, or, you know, like, I'm just thinking of examples. What did you miss, you know, in that drive towards the material? And that's not just for Capricorns, that's for all of us. How were we got lost in the fray? How did we get lost in the rise? How did we get lose the bigger picture when it comes to attaching to external responsibilities, to external definitions of success, achievement, you know, versus itself versus the betterment of all. What is it for, you know, by achieving that goal? So I want you to work with those themes, Pisces, and maybe in many ways, as like you guys have had some placements in your zodiac as well last year, and Capricorn got completely smashed. But this new moon in Capricorn falls in your third house of, you know, it's creativity, it's communications and siblings, interconnectivity, it's short journeys, okay? So something about, you might notice these themes happening for you under this new moon, but I also want every zodiac to take into account the shadow aspect at play. So that is, I can approach this same thing when it comes to my siblings, you know, my local community, friendships. I can approach it in the same way. Travel, you know, traveling, expanding, growth, like use those analogies. Or I can really get to the core of where I sort of got lost in the fray there. So you will notice that in your relationships, in our busyness trying to achieve that family goal, we sort of all drifted apart, or whatever the case may be. In that focus on that one status, okay, that one thing, I sort of lost a deeper connection as to why I began this career or this path or this relationship. You know, take it however it resonates. Underneath the deck, I'm connecting into Pisceans that are embracing or facing this energy of patience, okay? Connecting into the higher realms, all right? But don't use it as an escape tool under these energies with the new moon. Again, I'm going to have to, and I've said it to every zodiac, like, as much as we go, oh, it's a new moon, new opportunity. Yes, it is a new moon, but be aware that it's really asking us to get to the core in order to truly experience new energies and deeply transformed energies as far as a new year, new month, new structures, new boundaries and rules within our life, which is what Capricorn energy is, because Saturn is the Lord of karma. Are we repeating karma? By focusing on the surface, focusing on our usual, like, how are we not pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone? And maybe I'm connecting to Pisceans that it's great to have the higher vision, but get honest with self about the time frames and where we need to stretch goalposts and push the goalposts, and what does that actually represent? I want to bring you back to my analogy of stripping away the labels and faces and focusing just on him or her, okay? And the only difference between who you are now and that version of you is you choosing to meet them. There is a grief process, not because of other people or others. There is a grief. You have to grieve that version of yourself, and that's the biggest part of it. Okay, there's something here about really identifying, getting honest with self about the adversity and what it don't sort of get lost in when things get great. I'm losing the wisdom of the adversity, and maybe this is last year's stuff, maybe it's adversities you are currently experiencing, because I've got the honesty card centering it, just because others aren't honest with me. Sorry, I'm totally just making up the words. You know when you get a vibe and I just intuit cards, but then I was just making up what I assumed the card was about. I've had these for ages, not that I'm making it up. Can you tell I've done too many readings? The honesty card, Pisces, talks about I can't always expect the truth from others, okay? But I can expect it from myself. It's about getting raw and real, balancing karma sits right underneath it. The Wheel of Fortune, okay, sits underneath the adversity card. What does that mean? What does that mean for you guys? Where do you have to separate from old karma? Where is it time to balance karma in order to experience growth as gifted by the Wheel of Fortune and see adversity for what it truly is? That's how I want to, because I don't think you're seeing it. And I think you're sort of looking at something in an idealized way, a situation, an experience, a connection, the path ahead, the path to there. You're not seeing it, there's something about it that you're not taking, okay? And is this you drifting off into dreamland or seeing the higher view? And when I look at the shadow aspects of Pisces, we can tend to forgive the unforgivable in its most extreme. So that disconnection into dreamland, into the higher view, can happen quite easily, almost second nature. So just be wary of that, because I feel like there's some Pisceans here that are, because like I've got the moon card underneath, there's something hidden, okay? And this Pluto, this new moon conjunct Pluto in Capricorn is really allowing us to get to the heart, the core, so that we can authentically experience new beginnings. I just want to confirm, because this patience card then follows guilt, and then there's death and rebirth. This tells me that there's this process, okay, and then empathy, and then abundance, all right? You will know in yourself, Pisces, where that applies. Like there's this death and rebirth process happening in the future, okay? Something about 11 and 10, okay? Something about still being stuck in the mind, being a prisoner of our mind, all right? In the realms of love, okay? Maybe that's relevant. There was a disappointment. Maybe the last 3 years tell a story, okay? This week you might find yourself connecting under third house themes, where we're connecting into siblings, communicating, or at least exploring communication, if any of those sort of areas are relevant to you, Pisces, okay? I see here there's time to have a conversation, okay? And that in itself will balance karma, will sort of bring in divine law, this energy of divine law, which creates change for you so that you could truly see the wisdom of the adversity. All right? There's something here about it's intuitive, like it's hidden at this stage, okay? Don't rush the process. Alrighty, my dear. A lot of information, a lot of planetary movements across the next 2 months. So this is definitely reference points we will be looking back to later in the year when we do readings and go, remember what happened in January, and remember you draw yourself back to February. These are key turn point months that set the tone for the year ahead. This is going to be a heavy air predominant year, okay? A lot of air placements, planetary placements, conjunctions, whatever the case may be. So have you made your mind your friend? How have you used it to its highest element is what I do want to say. Alrighty? If you're wanting to book a personal reading, Pisces, you can do so by heading to the Indigo Ascension shop link, or you might like to try a 2021 intuitive astrology forecast, which will go in depth, 1.5 hours into the astrology profile that you are, along with the planetary placements that you can uniquely make the most of this year for 2021. All right, Pisces, until next week, have an amazing week. Take care.